This is Dr. Scott Werner. I apologize for not being able to attend the conference for Innovita. I am, at this time that you see this video, I will be on my way back from Peru, but I won't be back yet. So I am arriving Sunday afternoon or Monday, coming back from Peru and Colombia. I've had a lot happen in my life. Dayun said to me, "You promised to be here for our conference." And I did. And I hate reneging on any promises, but I had Saint Germain came to me in October of 2014, gave me some very important information and had me write a book about it. And then he told me at the end of it that I would be needing to go to Colombia to write a story about Father Gabriel Mejia, and that that would be my priority. And so, as you can see, I'm doing what I've been told to do by the great beyond. And I'm sure all of you would agree that's what we should do when this type of thing happens. I am supposed to talk to you, though, about several things that I've learned in the last 8 months. Number one, Saint Germain said that this is a very important time for the planet, and we need to be getting ourselves evolved, because the chemical corporations are producing so many toxins, and they're pouring billions of gallons of this stuff into our environment, and it's causing us to have infertility rates plummet. Fertility rates are plummeting. The women are not able to get pregnant. We lost a child a year and a half ago due to toxic chemicals in the mother and the child. Knox lived for 4 days and then he died. And we feel most of this was due to this toxic chemical overload. And as you know, there's a lot of nuclear radiation hitting the planet currently. And Fukushima, the second reactor, actually had a meltdown and spewed tons of radiation into our environment. And this has caused, way too much radiation. So there's also other things that I'm going to talk about that Saint Germain talked about. I've been having to deal with people with nanobot technology that has been dropped on us through chemtrails also. And this is getting worse. They've actually programmed these little nanobots to attach to our nervous systems and to send signals for mind control and control of our body and enslavement of our souls. This is a live technology. It's going on right now. If you don't believe in it, that's okay. It's happening. So, as a group of health practitioners, we've got a lot of challenges coming up. And what Saint Germain talked about was evolving our DNA, actually making our DNA become more resilient by making it into 24 strands. We're able to create cars, build homes, do all kinds of medical type discoveries and things, and yet we're not evolving our own souls. And so he brought to me a method of invoking these powers within us to create 24-stranded DNA. And I just finished a book called The Next Step in Human Evolution, which was the book Saint Germain asked me to write. It's on Amazon.com, or you can call us and order a book. Amazon's $7.99. I think the ebook is $4.99. It's good to buy the regular book because it vibrates at 910 I had it tested yesterday, and a woman tested it at 910 on Dr. David Hawkins' scale, which is very high vibration, and it's actually got some negative information about what humans are doing to change the earth into robotics. And so, but even with that information, it still vibrates at 910, which I was quite pleased with. Anyway, the information is so important because it's going to help us to evolve into Homo luminous, which is the original humans that came to Earth, had 24 strands of DNA put into 12 double helixes, and it was bound and braided into a rope DNA that was invincible, impenetrable, and indestructible to radiation, toxins, nanobots, petrochemicals, all of these things that is destroying our 2 measly strands of DNA. So what Saint Germain said is that we need to evolve and invoke this to come in, and I will show you how this is done. What you do is you basically put yourself into a meditative state and meditate for a few minutes, breathing and drawing in the energy from the earth chakra up into your body and bringing source energy down into your body. Now, this is essential because you need to be well grounded, and our bodies, our physical bodies, are made from the dust of the earth. And so you connect to the earth, but our souls are connected to source. And so it's very important to connect these two during this manifestation and invocation. Now, what I do, what I was taught, was when I was in Mount Shasta, there was a lady who had some angel cards, and these angel cards, they look like this, basically. And this one is the angel card of Zaphkiel. Now, Zaphkiel is kind of an interesting angel. He is the keeper of the orange flame, and he's also the angel of creation, compassion, and ecstasy. Now, the orange flame is interesting because it celebrates our existence here on the planet, and it celebrates our being human, and it's very important. And when I was in Mount Shasta, staying at this house, there was a lady at a conference I was speaking at, and she was selling these cards, and she had me look at them, and I went through them, and I was really drawn to Zaphkiel. Now, you'll ask, why was I drawn to Zaphkiel? Well, about 3 years ago, I had my orange flame stolen from me. Now, how does that happen? You know, whoever believes in hoodoo or whatever, the woo-woo stuff, I was told because I had some problems with my sacral plexus that I had somebody actually came and snuffed out and took my orange flame. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I was very attracted to this card. And when the lady said, well, if that's the one you think you're attracted to, you need to step on it with your bare feet. So I proceeded to take off my shoes and socks, and I stepped on this card, and lo and behold, my feet started burning. And it burned clear up my legs, and I had to jump off because it was so strong of heat. And when I jumped off, it felt better. And I was wondering, what the heck happened here? And she said to me, well, that's the one you need. If that's the one that burns your feet and you're attracted to, that's the one that you should do. And so you get back on that card. And so I got back on, and it started burning again. And yet, you know, I just toughed it out, and I said, okay, I need to do this. So I stood on it for about another 5 minutes, and finally the burning sensation went away. But I felt cleared of some weird energy that had been in my sacral plexus for a while, and I was very glad to get it gone. So to make a long story short, I bought all of these cards. There's many cards, and they're different, and they have different archangels, different beings of light, the divine Blue Lightning, they have the Arcturian cards, and all kinds of cards. And so whichever one you're attracted to, you should use, and that's at livingwiththesacredflames.com is where you should go to purchase these things. Now, why do I tell you this story? Because Saint Germain, when he came the next night, he explained that the orange flame is to be used in the invocation and manifestation of the 24 strands of DNA, because it helps us create these strands in our body. So let me demonstrate how it's done. Now you connect yourself to the earth and to heaven, and you ask the heavens and the earth to help you manifest 24 strands of DNA. That's your intent. So you set your intent to make 24 strands of DNA in every cell in your body, including your blood and your lymph. Currently, as you realize, we don't have good DNA in our blood or our lymph, because those cells, the blood especially, doesn't have any nucleus whatsoever. And when we were perfected humans, we had blood. Now, lately, when I was in medical school, blood cells lasted 180 days or 6 months. And currently, our blood is actually being adulterated by all the toxins and everything, and we're lucky to have it last 90 to 120 days now. And so we're having a lot of problem. My grandson that was born a year and a half ago, his blood was totally dissolved out of his body due to the toxins. And he was born without any blood, and they had to transfuse him and put blood back into his system. Now, so you connect to the earth, you connect to the heavens, and then you ask Zaphkiel, Archangel Zaphkiel, to bring the orange flame of creation into your sacral plexus with the intent of creating 24 strands of DNA in every cell in your body, including the blood and the lymph. Then you call in the keepers of the 24 strands of DNA, who are the star children. Now, the star children are the ones who were designated by the divine energy to keep the perfected DNA and keep it from being destroyed. They knew in the future we would have problems with our DNA. And it's a whole other story why we ended up with only 2 strands, but we're going back to being evolved with 24 strands of DNA. So the star children, I call forth the star children to bring me the 24 strands of perfected human DNA. Now, this DNA comes in through your sacral plexus, and you put it in every cell in your body, including your blood and your lymph. Then, once you get that 24 strands of DNA in, while it's still open in the strand form, the strands actually can form the proteins and the nutrients and the different parts for recreating a perfect body. And so you leave them open and you perfect every organ and system in your body, every cell in your body, and then to protect the DNA, you put it back into double strands. So it's the double helix that looks like a ladder that's twisted upon itself, and then you braid those 12 double helix into 24 strands of, you braid it into rope DNA. You take all 24 double helixes and you braid them, and you don't have to know how to braid. I don't know how to braid hair, but you braid it and it makes it perfect. It makes it invincible. It makes it indestructible and impenetrable to the radiation, toxins, nanobots, and petrochemicals that we're being exposed to, which damage DNA. So it makes it impervious and perfect. Now, the other thing Saint Germain talked about is that once you've done this, you do it 12 times 12 times is what he told me. And I thought, oh, that's 144 times. But there's more to it than that. He basically, when I started doing the manifestation, excuse me for just a second, I'm going to have a little drink. When he told me to do the manifestation 12 times 12 times, I didn't fully understand that statement. So when I started doing the manifestation, he said to do it once a day. I did the first 12 and I felt this shift of energy in my body. And I wasn't sure what it was or what was happening, but I continued. By the time I went to Hawaii to write the book in February, I had gotten up to about 72, so I was halfway there. I had done 72 of the manifestations, and during the time I was there, I got up to 96. Now, strange things were happening that were very, very good within my body, so it was wonderful things. And the most wonderful thing I noticed was I was sleeping better. With the pancreatitis, I had developed diabetes, and I developed weakness in my kidneys and all kinds of problems. And I had been getting up for the last 4 years every hour to 2 hours to pee or to walk around and get my circulation going because I was in pain all the time. And by the 96th time, I was sleeping 4 to 5 to 6 hours, and I was like, wow, this is cool, you know. And I was doing this without changing anything except doing the manifesting. And I continued to write the book, and by the time I did the finished the book and did the 144th time, I noticed that my neuropathy in my legs totally disappeared. I got all the feeling back in my legs and the sensation. I was no longer in pain, which was wonderful. I wasn't having to get up all night and go pee. During the day, I've had more energy, more vitality. I've been able to cut back on the herbs. I still take some when I feel I should, but my pancreas is functioning up at 100%. My insulin levels are really good. I've even experimented. St. Germain said once I got finished with the 144 manifestations, I could experiment with food again, because I was having to avoid GMO, avoid glutens, you know, any kind of toxic chemicals. You know, I was very good to avoid these things. And one of the first things I did was I ate pizza. And I ate a whole pizza by myself. And if I'd have done that 6 months ago, I'd have been in bad shape, because my nervous system would have got real shaky. My sugar levels would have shot through the roof, and I would have been up all night in misery with gas and bloating and you name it. But I ate the pizza and nothing happened, and it was very tasty. And so I was quite happy about that. And so then, you know, I've done some other bonehead things like have ice cream, because I haven't had ice cream in a long time, and I actually buy it and I set it in my fridge so it's there, but I never do it because I always pay for it if I eat it. So I ate one bar, and then it tasted so good I decided to taste another one, and then another one. So I ate 3 ice cream bars with chocolate on them, and I had absolutely no bad effects from doing that, which was wonderful, because I was able to enjoy ice cream again. I haven't had ice cream for years because I was told by Hulda Clark that it was one of the reasons with the 6-pack of Coke a day I was drinking that caused my cancer. So as you can see, I've made some significant changes in my body and in my resilience, and they're still coming in with good energy. Now, the other thing I noticed was my intuition increased dramatically. Now, I asked St. Germain about this, and what it is the telomeres, which are at the ends of the DNA. Now that we've got more DNA, we've got more telomeres. Telo means communication. Mirror is like looking into another dimension, like you're looking in a mirror. And so you have all of this extra telomeres, which help you communicate with other dimensions. They did a study about 20 years ago, it's been, where they took the DNA out of the cells and they put it in a petri dish, and then they looked at it with a energy apparatus to see if there was any energy coming.